The Tyrant is another masterpiece by Hoon-Yun Park, the director of The Subversion. The film reveals a corner of the dark struggle within the National Intelligence Service of South Korea, bringing the audience an adrenaline-pumping audio-visual feast. Choi Jae-young had her life all planned out, but an unexpected visitor changed everything. After learning of her foster father Mr. Che's murder, Choi Jae-young finds his body. Only Choi Jae-young was present at Mr. Che's funeral, standing expressionless before the memorial tablet. A man approaches and sits beside her. Yan Moyong is apparently a restaurant owner, but in fact his identity is not ordinary. He also had a purpose in finding Choi Jae-young. Facing a group of menacing men in black, Choi Jae-young calmly eats her noodles. Yan Moyong is visibly annoyed by her nonchalance, but a single glance from her silences him. He then reveals his purpose. He needs Choi Jae-young to open a state-of-the-art Swedish-made safe. With Mr. Choi gone, she is the only one in the country who can crack it. Yan Moyong offers her 2 packages as a down payment, promising a reward hundreds of times greater upon completion. Choi Jae-young refuses, knowing Yan Moyong is a double agent for the intelligence service. But her other split personality opposed her decision.
됐어. 안 해. 야, 잠깐만. 왜 맨날 네 맘대로야?
Yan Moyong took the opportunity to say that if she could crack the code herself, she would get a lot of money. She could then use the money to open a bar in Southeast Asia. And this kind of life is exactly what Mr. Choi longs for.
아빠 나이도 있고 하니 따뜻한 동남아 어딘가로 가 펍이나 하며 살자고 했는데 평소에 아빠가 그랬거든. 절대 계획대로 되지 않는 게 인생이고 어디로 어떻게 흘러갈지 아무도 모른다.
So, Choi Jae-young agreed. After eliminating the last survivor, Choi Jae-young appears at the blood-soaked scene, carrying the safe. Suddenly, Yan Moyong drives up. He then ruthlessly tries to kill Choi Jae-young, throwing her into the water, but her quick reflexes save her from a fatal shot. Compared to the pain on her body, she cared more about the white hair accessory on her head that symbolized mourning. Then she took out an object from her arms, which contained the target of the robbery. Little does she know the serum will drastically alter her fate. The most important thing at the moment is how to leave this deserted place. A taxi drove into the wilderness, carrying a woman whose face was filled with terror. The cramped interior of the car forced the driver to leave his accomplice inside as he stepped out to relieve himself. Suddenly, a noise came from behind him. He turned to look but saw nothing unusual. The next moment, Choi Jae-young appeared beside him. She bent down, picked up a branch, and effortlessly snapped it in two. Inside the car, one of the men was trying to subdue the young woman. He got out to check on the situation, and Choi Jae-young quickly started the car, ready to drive away. But she caught a glimpse of the young woman in the back seat, and her anger flared. Without hesitation, she turned the car around and rammed it into the man. Her brutal actions terrified the young woman, who hurriedly opened the car door and fled. Choi Jae-young didn't explain herself. As far as she was concerned, the young woman's fate was in her own hands. Her mission was to eliminate these scumbags. Meanwhile, a man arrived at Yan Moyong's restaurant. He looked at the food before him with disinterest. Only after Yan Moyong had finished eating did his subordinate place a locked case on the table. It turned out that Yan Moyong took orders from this man, who was a member of the planning committee for Team A of the National Intelligence Service, NIS. The serum they were after originally belonged to NIS Team B. This whole ordeal was just an internal power struggle within the NIS. Driven by power and greed, human lives became expendable, and outsiders to the organization like Yan Moyong were ultimately destined to be eliminated.
네.
샘플 확보했습니다.
내용 확인하시고 작업주 바로 정리하시죠.
작업주 전부입니까?
네, 전부.
Fortunately, Yan Moyong was experienced. As the glass door swung open, 2 assassins were taken down instantly. At that moment, Choi Jae-young lay on a makeshift operating table, her wounds being stitched up by a doctor. The black market doctor had no integrity and was tempted by the sight of cash and a cloth strip nearby. Recognizing the blood serum inside the cloth, he realized it belonged to the NIS. Eager for the reward, he immediately called an acquaintance, revealing that Choi Jae-young was alive and in his clinic. Soon, there was a knock at the door. The man eagerly anticipated receiving his reward as soon as possible. But when the men burst into the operating room, Choi Jae-young was already gone from the bed. Before they could react, Choi Jae-young appeared behind them. To her, these men were no match.
니들이 날 잘 모르는구나. 내가 알려줄게.
After an intense fight, she emerged victorious with ease, her brutal methods leaving onlookers in awe. Once the trouble was dealt with, Choi Jae-young's first order of business was to clean the grime off her body. While looking for clothes, her two personalities diverge again. After changing her clothes, she is ready to seek revenge on Yan Moyong. Choi Jae-young hijacked a truck on the side of the road and drove off. When the National Intelligence Service, NIS, learned that Choi Jae-young was still alive, they ordered their subordinates to send her information to Lim Sang. At that moment, Lim Sang was on a mission in a mountain village. Rumor had it that the homeowner had encountered a monster while logging in the mountains. When the sun rose, the monster's body began to burn, eventually exploding. However, a drop of liquid from the monster entered the farmer's eye. Due to this incident, almost all the villagers had moved away. At this moment, the farmer was lying on the bed, dying. From the other party's reaction, Lim Sang determined that the farmer was his target this time. He then took out a hat and aimed his gun at the homeowner's wife. The black substance sensed the danger and tried to escape, but Lim Sang shot it back. After completely eliminating the monster, Lim Sang set the house on fire. Soon after, he received a new assignment. His targets were Yan Moyong and Choi Jae-young. Lim Sang locates one of Yan Moyong's henchmen based on the information. As the man gets into the car, Lim Sang overpowers him and begins interrogating him about Yan Moyong's whereabouts. Choi Jae-young arrived at Yan Moyong's restaurant, but when she pushed open the door, she found it unlocked and the place deserted. A photo on the wall caught her attention. From the picture, she instantly identified her next target, an arms dealer. Meanwhile, the Vice Minister of NIS Group B was meeting with Paul, the mastermind behind Group B. Furious about the loss of the serum, Paul had flown to Korea not only to retrieve it but also to eliminate Group A entirely. Facing Paul's insults, the Vice Minister could only silently endure the humiliation. Once a powerful figure in Korea, he was now reduced to such a lowly state, evoking pity. Choi Jae-young arrived at the arms dealer's territory and bought 3 bottles of soda from a vending machine. She drank one and tucked the remaining 2 into her jacket before knocking on the door. The arms dealer's henchmen were annoyed, and seeing that the visitor was a woman, they became even more disrespectful. Choi Jae-young quickly made her way to the arms dealer. The arms dealer, well aware of her reputation, instinctively reached for his weapon. To get Choi Jae-young to leave quickly, he hurriedly produced what she was looking for. However, his men ignored his warnings and even made inappropriate advances toward Choi Jae-young. Soon gunshots were heard and all the people were killed by her, leaving only the arms dealer alive. Choi Jae-young interrogated him about Yan Moyong's whereabouts. Desperate to save his life, the arms dealer revealed that Yan Moyong was hiding at his old home in Busan. Even so, Choi Jae-young did not let him live, because she knew that if she let him go, she would be in danger. Lim Sang had already arrived in Busan and found Yan Moyong's hideout before Choi Jae-young. Confirming there were people inside, he quickly took out the occupants, leaving one alive to question about Yan Moyong's location. However, the survivor tried to bargain for his life with the information. Almost simultaneously, Choi Jae-young arrived and encountered Lim Sang. As they passed each other, both stopped in their tracks. Lim Sang felt that she was familiar, and Choi Jae-young smelled a strong smell of gunpowder on him. Just as Lim Sang was about to draw his gun, Choi Jae-young thought quickly. She pretended to mistake Lim Sang for a priest, temporarily avoiding a confrontation. But after checking his photo, Lim Sang confirmed she was his target and decided to wait for her downstairs. Choi Jae-young, seeing the room full of bodies, was not surprised. Instead, she was relieved that Yan Moyong wasn't among them, as she wanted to exact her revenge personally. Lim Sang saw her coming downstairs and was about to follow, but he accidentally bumped into a group of young men. Then Lim Sang was surrounded by them and he could only watch Choi Jae-young go away. Fortunately, he managed to escape and continued his pursuit of Choi Jae-young. Choi Jae-young found the third person from the photo. Upon meeting, she laid her weapons on the table, giving him a choice. It is obvious that the two knew each other, and the scar on the man's hand was caused by Choi Jae-young. When Choi Jae-young questioned him, he assured her he would tell the truth. He then reminded Choi Jae-young that Yan Moyong's backer is the National Intelligence Service, who is not someone she can mess with. Suddenly, Choi Jae-young interrupted him.
너
As she stepped outside to check the situation, a gun was pointed at her head. A fierce battle ensued, leaving both of them severely injured. They paused to tend to their wounds, their tacit understanding surprising. Just as they were about to resume their fight, Lim Sang received a message. His expression turned serious, and he called for a ceasefire. Lim Sang told Choi Jae-young to come with him, stating there was an urgent matter to attend to. Confused but compliant, Choi Jae-young didn't take advantage of the situation. Upon learning that Yan Moyong had surfaced, both became instantly alert. It turns out that Yan Moyong knew that he could not escape death, so he took the initiative to find the National Intelligence Service Group B. He tried to get protection by relying on his identity in Group A. However, their car was ambushed by Paul's men, who opened fire on the vehicle. Luckily, Yan Moyong and the Vice Minister of Group B were in the back seat and survived the initial attack. But soon, a man climbed onto the roof of the car. Yan Moyong was dragged out by the other party by his hair. The deputy leader of Group B was so scared that he didn't dare to say a word. The director Choi that Paul mentioned is the leader of Group A. At this moment, Paul also had the NIS Group A director trapped in the car. If not for the secrets the director knew, he would likely have been killed already. Apparently, the person who gave Lim Sang the order to assassinate him was Director Choi. Following the signal, Lim Sang quickly caught up with Paul's convoy. The driver of the last car volunteered to intercept Lim Sang but was swiftly taken out. The second car stopped, and one of Paul's super soldiers stepped out. His skin turned metallic as he approached Lim Sang. Even if he was hit by a shotgun, he could still knock the car away. Reaching the vehicle, he found it empty. As he searched, Choi Jae-young shot him in the head. The super soldier wasn't down yet. He stood up and kicked Choi Jae-young. Just as he was about to deliver a fatal blow, Lim Sang intervened. Drawing on his experience with the previous monster, Lim Sang fired continuously at the super soldier's head, finally taking him down. The immediate crisis was averted, but Choi Jae-yeon was in bad shape. She pulled open her collar and was horrified to find that her body was already covered with black substance. This was the serum injection that he had hidden on his body before, and it was broken in the fight just now. Lim Sang was very familiar with this substance and was about to take action when he was pushed away by Choi Jae-yeon. She proved through her actions that she had not lost her mind.
일단 연모형한테 가져가.
그러시죠.
Paul's convoy arrived at an abandoned theater, a secret base for Group A. Hearing gunshots from inside, Director Choi remained expressionless. With the super soldiers on their side, Group A stood no chance. After eliminating everyone, the group stood before an iron door, the final stronghold of Group A. However, the reaction from inside was unusual. Paul opened the safe, only to find it empty. Ever since they got the safe, they had been trying to crack the code. Finding it empty, they were devastated. Director Choi genuinely didn't know where the serum was, but Paul refused to believe him. To force him to hand over the serum, Paul began executing his subordinates in front of him. When it was Yan Moyong's turn, he suddenly remembered that only Choi Jae-yeon could open the safe. At that moment, Choi Jae-yeon and Lim Sang arrived at the theater. They split up. Lim Sang rushed into the theater to take out the ordinary guards, while Choi Jae-yeon confronted the last of Paul's genetically enhanced soldiers. Their fight was intense and brutal, with no fancy techniques, just raw, unyielding combat. Lim Sang finished his battle first and pointed his gun at Paul, but Paul was unfazed, confident that Director Choi wouldn't dare kill him due to his status. Director Choi sneered. Yan Moyong tried to escape, but Lim Sang shot him in the leg. Suddenly, the wall was breached, and Choi Jae-yeon appeared, her body covered in the black substance. Seeing this, Director Choi realized she was the new human they had been seeking. Choi Jae-yeon clashed fiercely with Paul's super soldier. The soldier's knife struck her shoulder but did no damage. Instead, the black substance began to consume him. Choi Jae-yeon impaled the soldier on a stone pillar, ending the fight. She then personally executed Yan Moyong. Just then, Lim Sang suddenly fired at her. After all, the two have opposite positions, and even though Lim Sang knows he cannot win, he is unwilling to back down. At a critical moment, Director Choi ordered the lights to be turned on. The bright light caused Choi Jae-yeon to scream in agony, but she didn't explode like the creature in the woods. Instead, she stood in pain at the center of the stage. Quickly, she picked up a gun from the floor and shot out all the lights. Regaining control of the situation, Director Choi remained calm, glancing at his watch. He heard footsteps approaching. Group B had arrived, so he urged Choi Jae-yeon to leave quickly, otherwise she would perish with him after dawn. As Director Choi's power was completely destroyed, he knew that he was in great trouble. He seemed to surrender on the surface, but he snatched the gun from the guard the moment he approached. Instead of shooting the vice minister, he chose to take his own life, ensuring that Group B couldn't extract more secrets about Group A from his mind. Amidst the chaos, Lim Sang grabbed a guard's gun and fought his way out. He then dove out of a window into the sea. However, the pursuers fired relentlessly into the water, and Lim Sang, hit multiple times, began to sink. Suddenly, a shadow flashed by, and his descent accelerated. If that shadow was Choi Jae-yeon, he might just have a chance to survive.